Hi there. Today I'm talking to you about risk factors that a doctor should look out for in order to prevent shoulder dystocia. My name is Adam Funk. I'm a birth injury attorney in Houston, Texas. I've handled many shoulder dystocia cases, and I've seen that a lot of doctors don't look out for certain risk factors. First, let's start with what is shoulder dystocia. Essentially, in very simple terms, it's when the baby's shoulder gets stuck in the birthing canal, specifically right behind mom's pubic bone. The baby cannot progress out, and therefore the delivery gets stuck. This can be very dangerous. Pulling the baby out in certain ways can lead to a lot of brachial plexus nerve injuries. That's the nerves here in the neck and shoulder region. And that can cause a lot of movement disorders and issues with shoulders, arms, fingers, and so on. It can also cause a lot of hypoxia, which is a lack of oxygen to the brain. That can cause brain damage and obviously cause a host of issues, both physical and mental. That's why shoulder dystocia has to be taken care of very quickly once it happens. However, a lot of times shoulder dystocia can be prevented. If a doctor knows of certain risk factors, then he or she should be on the lookout for shoulder dystocia actually happening. So what are those risk factors? The first one and the most important one is if mom develops gestational diabetes. That's not type 1 or type 2 diabetes before pregnancy. That is while you are pregnant, you develop a diabetic condition. Gestational diabetes has been linked to much larger babies, and a larger baby has a tendency to get stuck in the birthing canal. It's just physics. The second risk factor that has happened quite often is if you, as a mom, have had a prior shoulder dystocia in a previous baby. It just means that your anatomy is shaped in a way where babies get stuck. And that's okay. However, it is a risk factor that a doctor should be aware of prior to starting labor and delivery. The third risk factor is just a plain old big baby. Some babies are just large in size. And if they are large, and if in particular mom is small, then there is a huge risk factor for shoulder dystocia happening. Lastly, the mom's size can also play a factor. If mom suffers from obesity, that has also been known to be a risk factor for shoulder dystocia. If you have more questions about risk factors relating to shoulder dystocia, please give me a call. My name is Adam Funk, and I'm a birth injury lawyer.